All right, so I'm doing this problem called longest consecutive sequence. Let's have a read. Given an unsorted array of integers nums written the length of the longest consecutive element sequence, you must certain algorithm that runs in overtime time. So given this example 104, 200, 132, the longest consecutive element sequence is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so essentially we want the consecutive sequence which is the longest. So in this case it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And here it's 9 because you can find from 0 to 8 all the different elements are present in it. So essentially, consecutive means I want adjacent elements, the plus one minus one, to be together. Uh, One of the approaches I can think of is sorting, so that all the elements that I want that needs to be together come close to each other. Uh, let's see how that would work. Let's use a whiteboard, and so take the example as what is given in the input array. So the first example is 100 comma 4 comma 200 comma 1 comma 3 comma 2. And obviously the answer is 4 because you can get like 1 2 3 4. You can also consider there can be cases where there are duplicates in the array. So let's say there is 4, there is 3, there is 2, whatever. But again, it has to be the longest sequence is still 1 2 3 4. So one of the intuitive approaches that comes to my mind at least is we sort it so that all the close elements that are close by comes together. So this becomes 1 comma 2 comma 2 comma 3 comma 3 comma 4 comma 4 comma 100 comma 200. So obviously we have to, so now there are two cases that we have to handle. One is that the duplicates will be together and we have to remove the duplicates in some sense or ignore the duplicates in some sense. So if I walk through this sorted array, I want to maintain the streak. So from, I know that this 1 to 4 will create one streak, right? And then uh, so this is what I want to maintain. I want to maintain the current. So at any point in time, there are three things. My current value is equal to the previous value, or my current value because it's sorted, it is equals to previous plus one, or current value is greater than uh, previous plus two. Right? Basically, to call it in a simple sense, all other cases. Right? Just say remaining cases. These are the three cases that I have to handle. And let's say I maintain some current streak, right? So that is a consecutive number of consecutive elements. So if my current is previous, then my streak remains the same, right? And if current is previous plus one, then my streak increases. And if something else, that means streak is broken, reset, right? That's a general idea. So I have to reset, that is start a new streak. And so based on this logic, I could do a sorting based approach and find out at any point what is the maximum value of this current streak, right? So let's write a code based on this approach. So what we're saying is I sort this array. So arrays dot sort nums, and I can the array be empty? Yeah, nums length can be zero. So if the array is empty, you can't build any streak. So if let's handle that base case, nums dot length is 0, then you just return 0, right? And now the array is not empty. So first guy will create a streak of 1. So int current streak equals to 1. We'll also maintain max streak, and so max streak is also 1. Now let's go through. So first element we have already considered. Let's go to the second element onwards. So I equals to 1, I is less than nums dot length, plus plus. And we want to check what? We want to check, again, those the three conditions that we mentioned. So if nums of I is equals to nums of I minus 1, that's one case. Other case, if is nums of I equals to 1 plus nums of I minus 1, that's another case. And then there is a third case, which is remaining. So this is say streak continues, same streak, right? So same streak, nothing to do. Here your streak increases. Congratulations. So you do current streak plus plus, or here this is the case where your existing streak is broken. So streak broken, start new streak, right? Which would mean you make your from this guy considering this element one, so current streak is one, and for each index at the for every guy, let's also maintain max streak, right? So max streak equals to math.max of current streak comma max streak, and you would want to return max streak. Okay, let's run and see if it works. Compilation error, nums of I equals to 1 plus nums of I minus 1. What's the problem? Cannot convert from int to bool. Where is bool? What is bool here? Equals to. Sorry about that. Run. Okay, the test case is passed. Let's submit and see if remaining test cases pass as well. And it seems to pass. All right. However, this is the bit that we ignored, which is you must have an algorithm that runs in O of n time. Clearly, when we are doing sorting, you can't do the sorting in O of n. So, but we get the idea and the reason that we are sorting. So let's come back to the whiteboard. So the reason for sorting was the condition that we really want to check is if I'm looking at num, then does num minus one or num plus one exist or not? And the easy way to get that information is was to sort. The other way to get the same information could be to put all the elements in a hash sat, right? So that then you can query any element that exists in the array use in O of one time. So the same thing, and so the same input, sorry about that. So the same input, which is this, can we solve using hash set? So if you put it, if you put it in hash set, first of all, duplicates will already get removed. So you don't have to worry about duplicates. So it will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 100, 200. Obviously not in that order, but order something we can't think about. And then for all the elements in this hash set, we'll see what is the maximum streak that they can give us, right? So for example, if I check for a random element 3, I want to check what is the maximum streak that it can give us, I can just keep going further and further, right? So I go to 4 and I see 4 exists again, that lookup is O of 1. Then I see 5 exists, it doesn't exist. So for starting from 3, I get my streak starting from 3. So this is start and this is streak, right? So if I start from 3, I can get 2. Then if I check 2, I can get 4. Now there is a duplicate work happening here, no? That I already checked with 3. So when I check from 2, do I save the value for 3 and use that, right? Because from I start from 2, I'll check, hey, does 3 exist? It will say yes. Then from 3, I'll say, does 4 exist? It will say yes. And then if I'm doing the same analysis from 1, it will check, hey, does 2 exist? It will say yes. Then do I again check if 3 exists, or I use the fact that, hey, 2, 3, 4, sorry about this is not 4, this is 3, right? Like, do I do that again? So either I save the results, that is one, or or I only start checking for a streak, like I only start checking for a streak only if this element can be the starting point of a sequence. So meaning is, so when I am checking 3, I can check does 3 minus 1 exists. And if 3 minus 1 exists, then 3 will not anyways be the starting point of the sequence. Then let's not do that. Let's not do that checking of the sequence from 3. We'll only check for it from the start possible start of the sequences. So we'll only do that long walk only from 1 and 100 and 200, right? So I don't want to do 3 4 and then 2 3 4 and then 1 2 3 4 like repeated work. We don't want to do that. So we'll do this. So if I am anywhere at 3, I'll say, hey, 3 minus 1 exists, so I won't do this anything. I only check this. Similarly, when I'm at 4, I'll see a 3 exists, so I won't check forward. I'll move forward only if I will be the starting point. And here 1 can be the starting point because 1 minus 1 does not exist, right? So that will avoid some repeated work. To make it clear, let's come to code. So I go to code, uh, clean the sorting based approach. So first thing we are saying is to identify whether a number exists or not. We are adding it in a set. So use a set of integers, set equals to new hash set, and add all the elements in the set. So for each num in nums, add the number in set. And now we are going through each element in the set. So for each num in set, now I want to do that walkthrough only if this is the starting point of it. So obviously for every number, one thing is let's maintain this current streak, right? So current streak obviously for every number would be 1, and we also want to maintain a max streak. So int max streak, let's initialize it to maybe 0, and we'll do here max streak equals to math.max of uh, current streak comma max streak, and we will return max streak. Now so this guy creates at least one streak, which is fine, but now I don't do I go further. The point, we should only move forward only if this will be the starting point of a sequence, otherwise we'll do repeated work. So how to check if it's the starting point? So the way to check that would be if my set does not contain num minus 1, that means this will be the starting point. So if the num is starting point of a sequence, right? This is that condition. Now, if it is a starting point of the sequence, then what you want to do is till I find +1. So while set contains num plus 1, while set contains num plus 1, my current streak will increase, and I'll make num plus 1, num plus plus, right? I'll increase my num, and yeah, so and then this is fair, right? All right, let's run this code and see if it works. All right, submit. And this works as well. All right.